In the quiet town of Ravenshade, where the mist clung to the cobblestone streets like a shroud, stood an old, decrepit house. No one lived there anymore, not since the night the Ashford family vanished without a trace. The house had a single, large window that faced the street. The glass was cracked, and the wooden frame was warped with age, yet the window was the only part of the house that seemed to be alive. It whispered. Late at night, when the wind howled through the trees and the moon hung low in the sky, the whispers would begin. They were soft at first, just a murmur, like the rustling of leaves. But as the night deepened, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. They carried tales of sorrow, of loss, and of things that should never be spoken of. No one dared approach the house, but the whispers would find their way to the ears of those passing by. Some said the window called out to them, begging them to come closer, to listen to its secrets. Others claimed the whispers were warnings, urging them to stay away, to flee before it was too late. One cold, moonless night, a young woman named Eliza, who had just moved to Ravenshade, decided to find out what lay behind the whispers. She had heard the stories, of course, but she was curious, drawn to the house as if by some unseen force. She stood before the window, the fog curling around her ankles, and listened. At first she heard nothing but the wind. Then, slowly, the whispers began. They were faint, just a soft hum at the edge of her hearing. She leaned closer, pressing her ear against the cold glass. The whispers grew clearer, forming words that chilled her to the bone. "Help us! Find us! The darkness! It's coming!" Eliza's heart pounded in her chest as she pulled away, but she couldn't leave. The whispers had ensnared her, pulling her deeper into their web. She stared into the cracked glass, and as she did, she saw something move behind the window. A shadow, just at the edge of the darkness within the house. Without thinking, Eliza reached out and touched the window. The glass was icy, and as her fingers made contact, the whispers became screams. The shadow behind the glass surged forward and the window shattered, sending shards flying through the air. Eliza screamed and stumbled back, but it was too late. The shadow poured out of the window like black smoke, wrapping around her, pulling her into the darkness. The last thing she heard before the darkness claimed her was the sound of her own voice, whispering from within the shattered glass. The next morning, the townsfolk found the old house as it always was, silent and still, with no sign of Eliza. But the whispers were louder now, echoing through the streets of Ravenshade, calling out to anyone who would listen. And the window, it waited.